Not every team has won the Super Bowl.
The Arizona Cardinals have absolutely zero chance at winning the Super Bowl this year.
We're going to take a look at the 12 teams that have never won the Super Bowl and rank them based on when they'll eventually win one. Number 12, Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals have only gone to one Super Bowl in its entire history. The Cardinals have, unfortunately, been a team that can't even make the playoffs in recent years, nor can they win a game. The Cardinals currently don't have the roster to compete for a playoff, let alone win a Super Bowl, as Jacoby Brissett, Gardner Minshew, and rookie Carson Beck don't exactly scream championship contenders. It also doesn't help that the Cardinals face intense competition in the NFC West. If the Redbirds are to make the Super Bowl, they need to secure their long-term answer at quarterback first, clear the books, and rebuild the trenches. Number 11, Cleveland Browns. The Browns have been the league's biggest laughingstock ever since they were revived in 1999, as they made the playoffs 3 times since then. The Browns traded away Baker Mayfield, traded for Deshaun Watson, and kneecapped themselves by signing him to a 5-year, $230 million fully guaranteed contract, preventing them from making much improvements to their roster. It could be a long time before the Browns potentially go to the Super Bowl, as being handcuffed to the Watson contract and watching him struggle has been a painful experience to watch. The Browns must solidify their quarterback situation under head coach Todd Monken, integrate young talent, and solidify the trenches. On top of that, if they have to release Watson and take on a cap hit, it would be worth it in the long run with the draft capital that they have. But we're just gonna have to wait and find out. Number 10, Tennessee Titans. Well, just like the Cardinals, the Titans have only been to the Super Bowl once. The current team, well, they're nowhere near Super Bowl contention, as Cam Ward still has much improvement to make, which should be seen under head coach Robert Saleh and defensive coordinator Brian Daboll. Not to mention, the Titans need to rebuild their abysmal offensive line, integrate their offensive weapons like Carnell Tate into a Pro Bowl caliber pass catcher, and fix a secondary on defense. If the Titans are successful in their rebuild and the development of Ward, they may have a shot at potentially returning to the Super Bowl in a few years or so, especially with the Super Bowl being held in Nashville in 2030. Number 9, Atlanta Falcons. Ever since the Falcons lost Super Bowl 51, it has been incredibly embarrassing to watch as they still haven't gotten over blowing that 25-point lead. The Falcons' current roster has incredibly talented offensive playmakers in Drake London, Bijan Robinson, and Kyle Pitts, but their quarterback situation is incredibly bleak with Michael Penix Jr. and Tua Tagovailoa competing for the starting job in 2026. Not to mention, the defensive line lost key guys during the 2026 offseason and has seen concerns in the pass rush regarding James Pierce Jr. If the Falcons patch things up on defense, surround their playmakers with stronger depth, and figure out their quarterback situation during the season, well, who knows? Maybe it could be the start of some positive things to come. Number 8, Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings have fielded talented teams throughout the decades, including teams that reached the Super Bowl 4 times in the 1970s, where they lost all of them. The current Vikings team has immense talent at wide receiver with Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. But like the Falcons, they also have a quarterback competition between J.J. McCarthy and Kyler Murray. McCarthy struggled in the 2025 season and is looking to rebound, while Murray is looking to earn another chance at starting with a new team after not being able to do much with the Cardinals. Luckily for both McCarthy and Murray, head coach Kevin O'Connell is a known quarterback guru, a guy who knows how to get the best out of his quarterbacks when it matters most. Despite that, the Vikings have stayed relevant in an ever so competitive NFC North, but must figure out who will be their quarterback long-term, overhaul the run game, and reload their defensive pass rush. If they accomplish that in the next couple of seasons, well, they can easily become championship contenders. Number 7, Carolina Panthers. The Panthers have only made 2 Super Bowl appearances in their young existence, and unfortunately, they lost both of them. The Panthers are still reeling from multiple organizational resets that have happened throughout the years. They're in good hands, though, under head coach Dave Canales and Bryce Young, as so far, they've guided the team to win the NFC South and have made a playoff appearance in 2025. Despite that, they must see further growth in Young's performance, maximize playmakers, and overcome edge rusher injuries. But you know, all that is way easier said than done. Number 6, Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguars have been a team that had early promise in the 1990s, but by the 2000s, they've shown mixed results and have been plagued by awful draft picks. The current Jaguars are led by Trevor Lawrence and offensive-minded head coach Liam Cohen, who helped the team reach the playoffs in 2025, but lost an intense shootout against the Buffalo Bills. The 2026 Jaguars will be without Travis Etienne Jr., who signed with the New Orleans Saints. However, they signed Chris Chris Rodriguez Jr., who Cohen coached when he was the offensive coordinator at the University of Kentucky, which may actually help the ground game here. The Jaguars' defense will show regression in 2026 due to the loss of key talent like Devin Lloyd, who signed with the Panthers. However, the Jaguars play in a somewhat weak division as their only true competition comes from the Houston Texans. The Jaguars have the offense to make a push in the playoffs, and the only question is now, can their defense hold on for the long haul? Number 5, Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers have had competitive teams throughout the years, but they only made the Super Bowl once, where they lost to Steve Young and the San Francisco 49ers. Since that loss, the Chargers have made the AFC Championship game once, which was back in the 2007-2008 season, when they lost to the New England Patriots 21-12. The current Chargers, led by Justin Herbert and head coach Jim Harbaugh, have made the playoffs twice in back-to-back years, but both times they were easily bounced out of the wild card round. With the addition of Mike McDaniel as the team's offensive coordinator, the Chargers may have a chance to compete in the postseason, but that is a slim chance, as the AFC West is incredibly strong with the Kansas City Chiefs and Denver Broncos fielding championship-caliber rosters. The Chargers must solidify their interior offensive line to maximize new schemes and find a way to overcome their playoff struggles. If they do that in the competitive AFC West, they may find themselves knocking on the Super Bowl's door sooner rather than later. Number 4, Houston Texans. Although the Texans are the youngest team in the NFL, they have fielded some talented teams in the 2010s and 2020s that have reached the playoffs 9 times. Unfortunately, the Texans have never made it past the divisional round of the playoffs, as they've run into more intense competition. The Texans currently have the best defense in the league, coached by head coach DeMeco Ryans and defensive coordinator Matt Burke. But CJ Stroud must elevate his performance, avoid throwing costly turnovers in the playoffs, solidify the offensive line, and further develop stars on the roster. Not to mention, the roster needs to stay healthy for the long haul of the regular season and not lose key guys in the later part that'll impact a playoff run. If the Texans can do that in a couple of seasons while fielding an elite defense, then yeah, they can potentially win a Super Bowl, or heck, maybe even 2. Number 3, Cincinnati Bengals. Throughout their time in the NFL, the Bengals have only appeared in 3 Super Bowls, losing 2 of them to the San Francisco 49ers in the 1980s and losing Super Bowl 56 to the Los Angeles Rams. Joe Burrow must stay healthy, patch up any holes in their offensive line, establish a strong rushing attack with Chase Brown, and add a third passing option to join Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. On defense, the Bengals acquired Dexter Lawrence and Boye Mafe, who will give the unit a nice boost in production for the upcoming season. The Bengals have all the talent to make a decent playoff run, but can they take advantage of their opponent's mistakes? Well, we're just gonna have to wait and see. Number 2, Detroit Lions. The Lions are truly a tragic story of an NFL team that has never been to a Super Bowl, as they've come close twice when they made the 1991-92 and 2023-2024 NFC Championship games. It was incredibly heartbreaking to see the Lions let a 24-7 lead in the fourth quarter of the 2024 NFC Championship game slip away as the 49ers went on to win 34-31. Dan Campbell said in the post-game interview after that game, "This may have been our only shot." Do I believe that? No. However, I know how hard it is to get here. I am well aware. And it's going to be twice as hard to get back to this point next year than it was this year. And yeah, regrettably, that quote has aged incredibly well, as the Lions finished the 2025 season with a 9-8 record and missed out on the playoffs. The Lions must adjust to new play calling under offensive coordinator Drew Petzing, retool the offensive line and ground game as they signed Isai Pacheco, and keep that defense healthy. The Lions must overcome dealing with the injury bug before and during the season and find another consistent pass rusher to pair up with Aiden Hutchinson via trades or signing a veteran who has some fuel left in the tank. It would be incredible to see the Lions make a Super Bowl and potentially win it in our lifetime. But they gotta make those adjustments sooner rather than later. Number 1, Buffalo Bills. If any team on this list has a chance of reaching the Super Bowl and winning it, it's the Bills, all thanks to Josh Allen and his elite play. The Bills have fallen victim to too many boneheaded mistakes in the playoffs recently, and it has really hurt Allen and the team's chances of making it back to the Super Bowl for the first time since the 1990s. The Bills must embrace Joe Brady's offensive schemes, make sure Allen and DJ Moore turn it into a 1-2 punch on offense, get breakout production from offensive talent like Dalton Kincaid, and of course, minimize late-game mistakes in the latter part of the regular season and the playoffs. On defense, the Bills must establish a dominant pass rush under defensive coordinator Commander Jim Leonard. They gotta get the best out of veterans Bradley Chubb and former Chief Mike Dana and generate high-stakes sacks against opposing quarterbacks. And hey, if they can do all that, then they can potentially make it to the big dance and possibly even win. Which, is incredibly deserved for Bills Mafia. This passionate fan base has been waiting far too long to bring the Lombardi Trophy home. But hey, what team that hasn't won a Super Bowl yet do you think is most likely to win a Super Bowl? Do you agree with the choices on our list? Let us know in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, then hey, clicking the like button helps us out a ton. And you know, we really appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, then subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.